Hey guys, and a big warm welcome to my brand new podcast, show, whatever we want to call it. My name is Jade Skillen. For those who don't know me, I am Hyrox Master Trainer. I am Hyrox Athlete, business owner, coach, dog mum, all the above basically. And the reason that I have developed what is now here, the Conscious Athlete, is to really expand and allow myself to take you as my audience, as my listeners, with me on a bit more of a journey of understanding, more education around training, more showcase a bit of like life, right? And with the Conscious Athlete, what I'm hoping to do is inspire, educate, and facilitate a space where people can, including yourself, can really take the things I'm saying on board. I've been through a little bit about myself. I've been through a process. I won't go deep into my story here, but I've been deep into a process of self-development over the last couple of years. And it's really allowed me to expand my understanding of myself, my understanding of balance, life, decisions, relationships, behaviors, patterns. And so I thought, what better time right now than where I'm at in life than to really kind of, educate and create a space where, I can really give back. And I think that this is what my drive and my inspiration has been for launching the Conscious Athlete. And it's been coming for a while. I've been doing a lot of content around, being an athlete, how to train, nutrition, mindset, and really kind of cultivated, incredible coaching programs. But I still feel like there's more to give. There's more that I've learned. There's more about how I have, really grown and evolved in life that I feel I can inspire others to do. And what better way to do that than to create, I guess, a long form education / inspirational channel where I can go deep and I can take you guys deeper with me than maybe I could on just normal social media channels and stuff like that as well. So where did it start for me? That's a question that I'm asked quite often. And where it started for me was probably when I was around 2 years old and I was kicking a football around my grandma's garden. And from there on, I fell into the world of football, which was my first ever love. Football took me on a road. It took me, it kept me on the straight and narrow for sure. And, it was my constant. It was my, my constant in life that allowed me to, be the best player I could be. And it opened a lot of windows of opportunity for me growing up as a youngster throughout my teenage years and also kind of like later into my teens and early 20s. So when that was cut short, it was a big pivotal point in my life. And from that point, I feel that emotionally, I've been kind of like rebuilding myself through a loss of probably identity and a loss of identity around kind of like who I am and, what I do. So I've always competed since. I've always been in high level sport since that point. But at the same time, I've kind of like built this identity every time I've kind of stepped into, a new industry or a new sport. And in all of that time, in the whole of the 32 years, it's not been until maybe like the last year and a half that I really feel like I know myself. And so maybe that's the reason that I have actually held off this podcast, or podcast show, whatever we want to call it. Because it's about becoming, it's about coming home. And I think that when we're in a space of completely our most authentic self, then we can give back. And education, everything we learn along the way of self-development, I'm excited to share with you guys. And I think that I can really, truly deep down impact so many people with not only my own growth, development, research, education, studying, experience, but I can also really facilitate a space where hopefully you guys can learn as well. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to be launching this. It's probably going to be more of a solo show. I'm going to have the odd guest speaker on for sure. I've got some ideas in mind now of who I would absolutely love to bring on, and who I would love to interview and chat with and banter with. But yeah, it's going to be a space where I want to share everything. Like I want to share life. I want to share moments. I want to share education. And, you know, for me to be able to do that, I needed to develop a channel whereby, you know, I could just be here, be completely authentically myself, and give back so that you can take as much as you want from this. So yeah, so it's going to be the goal of the Conscious Athlete is to essentially be centered around every ethos, every part of the ethos, every part of my own branding, and every part of my own consciousness, right? So when I say the conscious athlete, what do I mean by that? The athlete has always been there, right? So for me, the athlete has always been there. I've always been in high level sport. I've always competed, but I wasn't always conscious. And this is something that has driven me to really create this channel, and also the name behind it as well. Is consciousness is within all of us, and it's not always tapped into. Consciousness around what am I fueling my body, right? Consciousness about how to train. Consciousness around life. Consciousness around balance. Consciousness around who I am, right? Who are we behind the masks? Who are we when we strip back everything, right? Consciousness around relationships, consciousness around, you know, our being, our growth, and everything, our health, right? One of my biggest values as a person is the consciousness around health. And I have developed, I'll share more about my story, but I've developed after suffering ME, which actually, you know, was a huge pivotal point in my life. It sent me down a path of discovery when it comes to health. And so health optimization is also another big area that I want to dive into and help others to, you know, really live the happiest, healthiest, most fulfilled life. So the Conscious Athlete sums it up perfectly, right? Because, you know, so many of us can be an athlete. We can be an everyday athlete. We can be competing. We can be training. But without consciousness, it can be very short-lived. We can suffer, you know, fatigue, burnout. Like what's behind that, right? Like consciousness being an athlete is about what's behind the athlete. What's the driver, right? So I want to like pose these difficult questions. I want to explore the why. I want to explore the how. So I'm hoping this is a space where, yeah, you can indulge, you can learn, you can educate. And for me, this is just the beginning of this incredible space where I can host, you know, guest speakers, and also, you know, go solo in giving you as much education and knowledge as possible. And also bring vulnerability. Like vulnerability is power. So, you know, if I can share a little bit more about that, a little bit more about the why, then, you know, you can take these golden nuggets, you can make adjustments, you can, you know, help others. And this can be like a ripple effect of a movement, really. I feel like, you know, I'm definitely the next generation are the people who can really change it, change the industry, change the way in which we respond, change the way in which we live. So yeah, I'm excited to go deep. I'm excited to get this started. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Yeah, let's get this show on the road. I'm happy to have you here. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. And let's get into the first episode.